think I figured out how to do this. So we're starting in like 10 seconds. So everyone who's coming in, get your gears together. For those of you who are listening, it'd be awesome to hear where you're listening in from. So if in the comments, if you can write that you're calling in from Iceland, Stockholm, the US, whatever, write it in and maybe share a little bit about, why you're here, your role, those sorts of things. So it'd be awesome to see in the comments. But so nice to have everyone here with us. And Matilda, I think it's roughly time to get going soon. We have
Yes.
people here calling in from New York. We have people calling in from Amsterdam. We have some people calling in from Iceland, from Stockholm. This is going to be super fun. And there's people listening in, by the way, here on Crowdcast, on LinkedIn, on socials, everywhere. So we're going to have a great session.
Yes.
So Matilda, what are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to talk about building workflows. We're using 50 Skills platform and how to do it with a purpose.
I'm super excited about this one. So you've been trying the platform out. You've been building something cool, and you're going to share your experience. So I think myself and everyone else is pretty excited to hear about that. Maybe a tiny bit before we get going, just if you could share a bit about yourself and Recommended By and who you are and what you do and how we kind of got to know each other.
Yes. I'm Matilda Kinghead, and I'm working at an HR full stack service consultancy firm. We help organizations become recommended by their people. So that's where the name comes from. And that means we help them with everything from growing and now I lost the English word. Keeping their people, making people want to stay at the company, and having leaders that can take care of the people in the right way and help the company reach their vision and goals.
Awesome. And is it primarily in Sweden or is it all over the world? Where's your kind of primary audience from?
We're primarily in Sweden, but also some customers out in the world.
Awesome. And yeah, on our end, I'm Christian. I'm co-founder and CEO at 50 Skills. We're helping people to build, manage, and automate their workflows. So the idea is that we want to really lower the threshold for people to be able to build stuff. I think the 99% really haven't gotten access to that kind of technology, and we want to make it easier for anyone. We're always working on ways how you can really do that and enable things. And in this world of AI, we finally have technology that can really help people get the ideas that they have out in the open. And hopefully that's something we're going to see today as well, Matilda.
Yeah.
For the audience that's listening, just before we start, there's a ton of questions we would like to ask you. We have like 2 or 3 polls coming out during the session. We're going to throw out 1 or 2 of those right now. It's just things like, how many times do you actually use AI at work? Where are you in your journey? Are you just getting started or not? Just so you have a comparison of the people who are listening in, if it's super advanced users or somebody who's just getting started. And it's really fun with these surveys. We'll share all the results afterwards, is how this is progressing. Like, we've been doing this for a while, and just like last year compared to the year before, compared to this year, like the amount of people automating and using AI is just absurd, and goals and plans. So that's really, really exciting. But I think we're, with that in mind, ready to get into it. It's awesome to hear from you in the audience what you'd like to hear, and questions. Just throw it in there. Keep this list live. But Matilda, I would love to hear from you and see from you. You've prepared something, as I understand it. What you've been doing, working on, and share it with the rest of us.
Yes. I was just thinking, should we maybe explain why we are here together?
Of course. Sorry, I forgot that.
Yeah, we met this autumn on a live session that you had in Stockholm. And that's where, at a time where I was exploring how to use automation and AI in HR questions. And I got pretty sold on when you showed the platform. And at that time, I had many clients asking, how do we actually use automation and AI in HR in a way that helps people rather than adds complexity? So we started talking. We booked a meeting, I think, and it became quite obvious that our worlds fit together. So we work more on the behavioral and cultural foundations of a process, and the part that determines whether people understand it, trust it, and use it. And you have the technology that makes those good processes scalable.
And I love that sync. So it's like you're making sure that you're not automating something that doesn't work in the first place. Like, you need to get the basic building blocks, but then of course you need to decide how you build, where do you build it, what tools are you using, how are you putting this thing together. I think that's that's sort of the match made in heaven, which is really interesting.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, and this is, I mean, this is only a couple of months ago, so it's awesome that we're here today and able to share some of the things you've been working on.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you want to go straight into the system, or do you want to go into the slides? What works best for you?
We can start with the slides to give it a little context, and then we jump into the system.
Awesome.
Perfect. And I'm just gonna figure out how to share the right screen here.
Yeah.
Always exciting. All right. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can see it. Perfect.
Yes, and I think we talked about what we want to do today. We're going to explore something simple but often overlooked. AI and automation only work when your underlying process is strong and has a clear purpose. And we show you what that looks like using a real workflow that I built. And why does this matter now? Most HR teams feel pressure to automate, and AI is now part of almost every 2026 roadmap. But most HR processes were never designed for automation, and even fewer for AI. Most processes handle tasks, but they don't shape the behaviors we actually need: clarity, collaboration, and consistency. And I feel very strongly about that behavior matters, because when a process encourages only checking off steps, it won't bring the value that you want to get from the process. So we will talk about a familiar example today, the performance review. And working as a consultant, I've been at many clients, and some things I've been hearing over and over again is that when the performance review is coming up, it's employees saying, yeah, or even managers, like, HR says we need to do this, but I don't really see the purpose of it. And I've heard it feels like we're just checking boxes. And I also heard that people are not really sure what they've been measured on, and that they don't really know what's expected from them. And so the process exists, but it doesn't create clarity, alignment, or value for either side. So what I wanted to do, oh, sorry, Christian.
No, I just completely agree with you there. It's like so common that it's just like a check in the box for companies, and like the supervisor is like, oh God, it's time for this again, and like, how do I do it? And just kind of checking it out without actually using it to bring value and set goals and those sorts of things. So I completely concur with you there.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do is take the performance review process and make it meaningful and automated with the help of 50 Skills platform. And then you might wonder where to start. And what I felt was really important here, that before I started automating, I had to have a clear purpose and goal with the process. So I started with asking myself, what is the ultimate goal here? What is the purpose? And what I defined was this. I wanted to create a process that gives value to both employee, manager, and the organization. It should require minimal administration, because we are also tired of administration, right? And the time we spent should be focused on the steps where it matters the most. And also I wanted the outcome to be concrete, something you can come back to and use for your development.
And it's a great question to ask in the beginning as well. Like, why are you automating this process? Like, why are you building it? What's the whole thing? Like, what's your problem with it today? So I like the structure of this one as well.
Yeah. And so I started with end by deciding what this process should actually leave people with. So the goal wasn't a completed form, because a completed form is just another box ticked. The goal was to create a shared roadmap for the next cycle for both the employee and the manager, with clear priorities, ownerships, and concrete actions. And once that outcome was clear, the next questions became obvious for me. What needs to be true for people to actually leave the process feeling this way? So then I defined these conditions that the workflow had to create before talking about steps, tools, or automation.
Awesome.
Yes. So here's the condition. I asked, what clarity should this step create? What behavior do we want to enable or reinforce? And how do we make this feel valuable? And how do we make this feel effortless? So I'm now going to jump into the platform. I'm just going to find it here. So I'm going to stop sharing a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
I had
think
all
people
my
a lot of
way.
times are so excited to see like, okay, so how, okay, I get it. I get how you thought about this thing. So how does it look like? Well, how does it work? And kind
Yeah.
of go into those steps so people actually can think, okay, if I'm doing performance reviews, if I go through this workflow, how would that work? I think that's, and that's really, I mean, you showed me, I've seen what you built with it before. It is super interesting. Um,
Yes.
so I think we're all excited to see. For
So
those
I'm
listening, maybe
going to
also
jump
share if
in
you,
here.
if you already have a performance review or what's important, if it's working well for you. I think that would be interesting in the comments. Okay, awesome. Go ahead, Matilda. What are we looking
Okay. So now we're in the 50 skills platform, and this is how the workflow looks. And I've not figured out how I can show the whole real workflow in a way that you could read what it says. But here are some steps, and I understand that this really doesn't say and tell you anything. So what I think we'll do is dive into it step by step and look at what I did.
Awesome.
And
I'm
why.
super, I'm super excited about this one.
Yes.
So it looks like, at least from the outlook, yeah, it's like 10 or 12 steps there. And walk us through what's happening. So you're starting an employee review. Like how does that happen step by step? What's the outcome here that you guys worked on?
Yes. So the first step is an employee evaluation form, but it does not simply start with a form. Before I collect any data, I decide the intent and communicate it. Because I want the process to feel effortless, I combine this info with a form link to reduce the numbers of emails. And I've shown here the message that goes out with the form link. And this message does three things. It explains why the process exists, it creates a shared language, and it lowers pressure. And this is not a communication choice, it's a design decision, because the quality of everything that follows depends on this. So this step is about shaping behavior and not sending information.
So if I'm an employee, this is how my experience starts. I get an email at the right time that just shares this with me. It's
Yeah.
explaining why we're doing this thing, and it's asking me to, what is it asking me to do? To fill out a,
It's asking me to fill out the employee evaluation form.
okay. And
Uh,
that form, what does that entail?
it entails questions from these behaviors that I've chosen here. And do you want us to go into the form?
However you want to structure it, it's fine. I'm just kind of thinking. So it's like you start with an email with a link with a bunch of questions that people and the employee fills that out, and
Yeah.
what and walk us through what happens next when they fill that out.
Yeah. So the next step is making the input usable for the upcoming steps. So it's quite simple, but here I've introduced AI to my workflow. So the employee does the reflection, and the AI helps highlight patterns and key themes, and the manager receives a structured overview instead of pages of text. And this step
So
will only work if the input is designed for it, because AI can only summarize what the question makes visible. So the real design work here isn't the AI prompt, it's the question we ask in the form. We can't
exactly.
be vague and ask questions like that will get a one-word answer, like how did the year go? Oh, it went good. Then you won't get so much information out of it.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So it's like it's a lot of questions. People answer it, and if they answered it, but because they answered it in a good way, you kind of have the AI summarizing all the things and making it easier for the manager to prepare based on that instead of just getting a flood of text.
yes, so
Okay,
we ask
awesome.
for concrete outcomes and impact, and then we can see the patterns. So this will enable for the manager preparation to be easier, and they have a shared context instead of raw input. And the conversation later becomes more focused because the groundwork is already done. So what AI is doing here is it's not fixing anything here, it's amplifying the quality of the input. And if the questions are good, this step creates real value. And if they're not, you will just get summarized noise.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't do anything unless the questions are thought out and sent in a way in a smart method, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the AI does this, and what happens then?
Yes, and here is step three. It's a small step. That is that we create a document of the AI summary, and that's because I want to send this to the manager, but I don't want the manager to get an email that is a lot of information in the email. So that's why I imported this step that creates a document that we can attach with the email.
Awesome. Okay, so this is the summary from the. Okay, so it creates a dot. Yeah, for the all the things. So the employee fills out a form. The form goes into the AI, and the AI puts that into a document. Creates this document that kind of summarizes it in a nice way, so it's easy for the manager to review it.
Yes.
Got it.
And step four, it mirrors step one, but this is for the manager. So the manager will get a form with an email and information that is similar to the one the employee gets. Because if I want the shared roadmap at the end, I can't let the employee and the manager reflect in two separate realities.
Yeah, it
So
would
the
be really
manager,
it would be really cool to see the forms. Is that something we can take a look at? Is it possible to see the if you share the screen on the workflow again and just open the forms really quickly, because people are probably
yes,
they're probably hungry to see what are these questions. If that's okay with you.
yes. Now you have to tell me if I'm sharing
Yeah.
the right screen
So
here.
just zoom in a little bit and just click. You can start with the employee form. So if you go in the top and just click the yeah and
Yes.
just preview it, I'm guessing this should show it.
Yeah. So
What is
here's
meant or so you start asking about impact questions. Got it. So this is okay. This is cool.
yeah. So this is something you recognize from the information email where I told them that these are the focus areas for this year.
And these are great questions. Like, so what are the top outcomes? What do you feel you created the most value? What did you deliver particularly well? Um, and so you kind of have this. It sounds like it's two or three questions under each section, right?
Yeah, I think it's two under each question.
Okay.
Growth
So,
and ownership got three
yeah.
questions because that's important.
And these really thought out. So like the employee starts by answering these, and then if you close the window here, and
Yeah,
you go for the employee enters these questions, the AI summarizes it, creates the document, sends it then to the manager gets that email. So if you click that one,
yeah.
and if you click the form there as well, so then the manager is asked similar questions. Is it the same questions as the employee?
No, it's not exactly the same, but they are. It's from the manager perspective.
Yeah, got it, got it. Yeah, towards that particular employee. Okay,
Yeah,
awesome. It's a similar thing. Like it's a couple of sections, a couple of questions under each. So it's like maybe 8 to 10 questions that
yeah,
people need to fill out. Okay, this is
yes,
really cool. And then in the end, okay, so let's go back into the slides then. We can. I'm sorry
yeah.
for just like forcing you into this, but I think this is
No,
like I'm also just seeing this for the questions, and it's interesting to see what you put in there.
yeah. Yes. So I what I wanted to do with this step is that maybe I said it now. I wanted the manager reflection great grounded in the same context,
Mhm.
and I want the evaluation to start from shared understanding, and I want the process to continue instead of resetting. Uh,
Okay. That exactly. So basically, this is fully automated so far. The employee fills it out. Once the employee has filled it out, then they will create a report. It will send it to the manager and ask the manager to fill stuff out. So that's where we're at. All those
yeah,
steps are fully automated. Nobody in HR or anywhere else needs to think about these things. That's fully just happening in a smart way when it should trigger. What
yeah,
happens next? The manager has filled this out and the employee.
yeah.
What then?
Then we have an AI step again to summarize the input because both the employee and the manager have reflected, and this step is about bringing those perspectives together. So AI summarizes and highlight patterns and turns input into a shared preparation for the upcoming performance review meeting.
Wait, so this
And
is taking both of the inputs. So
yeah,
everyone is getting the same questions, like the employee, every employee and every manager are getting the same questions. But now it starts to get unique because the AI is looking at everything that the manager wrote and the employee and
Yeah.
actually creating is the agenda, like all the things they should cover during the session. Is that what?
Yeah, so it will create, it will look at where do they align, where are the gaps, what do they need to talk more about in the meeting, and it also would suggest some questions to discuss during the meeting.
So I mean, this is quite unique. So like this is exactly different to what most employee reviews are, because when you show up for those, like you kind of have the standard questions for everybody, but this is actually unique to each employee employer relationship. Like every
Yeah, and this
supervisor.
goes back to the things that I talked about in the beginning. I wanted to feel valuable for both the employee and the manager.
This is really cool. Okay, can we see the document? Is that possible?
Yes,
So
I'm
if you
getting the
go,
grip of
yeah, if
switching
you, I
between
think here,
windows now.
if you go back by one, we can maybe see some people who've gone through it. That's actually easier to do. So if you click like Emma on the top, for example,
Yeah,
then she's gone through it. And then if you zoom in and you click the document that got created, where in the process is this again? Is it this one? Yeah, this one probably. And if you go down, you should be able to click the I button there. Ah, okay,
yeah.
cool. Can you zoom in a little bit, or what does this say here?
I don't know where to zoom in.
Okay, so this is like, so the Emma is the employee there, and you're
Yeah,
the employer. This is a demo, of course.
yeah,
Um, so you get these combined insights, and then differences and gaps, themes to explore together, and what you should discuss. So these are the actual questions. Like, so if you're in the meeting, if you're a manager with an employee, like these are the 8 things or whatever it brings there. It's like, this is what we should cover because of everything we said. And this would be
yeah,
different for every single employee and employer, right?
yeah. Yes. So it would be adapted to the earlier input.
This is
And
really cool.
that's
Okay,
also
so
something that I've felt was really important to make this process valuable for them both, that they feel like there are not separate islands. Each step is not a separate island, and they just start from scratch in every step. It should feel like what I did in the start is now has not now given us this context, and now we can use it to agree on what to do next year.
but you had more steps. So it's not just sending this to the employee and the employer and asking questions and summarizing it and sending it to both of them. It also does something more here. So you have what's coming up next, either in the slides or in the system. What's the step after this?
Yes, these are
And I
my
love this, by
magic.
the way. It's really interesting. I think a lot of people are like, they hate employee reviews, and they're just, especially like the employees and the managers, because they're sort of like, yeah, just how to prep for them. And this would be a huge time saver there.
Yeah,
What
and
are we
just
looking at? Yeah, sorry.
step 6 is only that it creates the documents again.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
and now the steps. We will look at some steps. There are 5 steps, and I think this is what truly will make this process effortless and reduce admin that we talked about in the beginning. So these steps are not about insights or evaluation; they're about coordination, and that's where many workflows quietly fail.
Yeah.
So after the employee and the manager have reflected and prepared, the worst thing you can do is slow everything down with manual scheduling. So the workflow takes care of timing, booking, and confirmation, and nothing meaningful is automated away, but friction is removed. So these 5 steps makes it possible to avoid calendar coordination. You will get no stalled momentum, and it will really decrease the admin for managers.
And this is actually my favorite. This is the part that I looked into. And we help. I remember you described how you wanted this done, and I think one person on our team, Christine, help you setting this thing up. This is my
Yeah,
favorite part of this. So this is sort of like 2 things, right? The first part is getting all the info from the manager and the employee, and this one is
yeah.
the scheduling part. So can we go into the details of what this actually does?
Yes. Here we have a code block. That's yeah, I don't think I need to go into the details here because here Christine can help.
Yeah. Well, I looked at it a little bit before the session. So what it's doing,
Yeah,
it's really interesting. It's checking all the available times in the calendars for this step and the step behind it, it's checking all the availability in the calendar for these two people in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So 2 days after filling this out and until 3 weeks in the future, it's going to check so let's say it's you and I, it's checking every time you're available and every time that I'm available.
Yes.
And it's finding all the, and then in the step after, you can see the get calendar information. It's basically, if you go a little bit down, this looks like clunky code or something, but if you go down, it's basically checking every single time you're busy for me and for you, and when we're both blocked and when you're both available. And then it asks the AI in the step after to find the time that makes the most sense for this. And like it should be in office hours, it should not be on weekends, it should preferably be from a 5 to 9. So you can update the prompt to be whatever you want. And then it just goes and automatically schedules the meeting, which is the next step after it. So if I'm getting this right, like the employee fills it out, the supervisor fills it out, they get a report of what to talk about, and then the system will automatically schedule a meeting for both of them.
Yes.
Right? And that's the 5th step there. If you click the email, I'm guessing, is let me take a look. Awesome. If you click the I button there as well, that'd be pretty awesome. You can see the it even has the logo there. Okay, that's nice. And then it just, this is it. It's like you both have been provided with the info, and here it is, and like what to do and prepare. This is really, really cool.
Yeah, and this is where the document, you can't see it here, but the document will be attached to this email, the document with the combined insights and everything. And here you can see you should have received a meeting invite on date.
This is the actual friction thing. It's not like ask an AI to help me with this. It just does it fully automatically. This is really, really nice. And I think a lot of times with like performance reviews and things like that, if it's not automatically in the calendar, it often gets, that's the issue. Just finding time to schedule that can be an issue for people.
Yeah.
But you have more steps there.
Yes. So the next step is actually designed around the meeting, and it should be clear here that it's not instead of the meeting. The conversation should stay human and face-to-face in best case, or face-to-face over a screen. So no automation for the meeting. But what usually fails is what happens after the meeting. You have the meeting and then you feel like, we made some great agreements, and now I know how I should support my employee, or I know what I should work on to develop my skills. And then they go from the meeting and go into another meeting, and the information is lost. So this form is as a help in the meeting between the employee and the manager to write down in the end of the meeting, write down key agreements, strengths to build on, and development areas that they should work on, and concrete next steps, and what support they need from the manager.
If you click the send form button there, if you click that one, you can go and click I think if you go to details in the left corner there, and you click the open, you can see it. But that screen, it opened in another window. It doesn't show it. Okay. You can also, if you just go, I can just do it quickly. Just click back. If you click the performance review workflow next to Emma there on the top screen, if you just click that one and just open the open journey builder, you can see it from there if you zoom in as well. Just to show you how easy this is as well. Just go down and click the edit. Just click that one and preview. You can see it there.
Yeah.
Got it. So this is the stuff that people should fill out. Like, is this the supervisor or the employee, or who gets this?
Yeah, this goes out to the manager with the information that use this in the end of the performance review meeting to note down what you agreed on.
Okay, awesome. Thought out questions at every step there. Okay. Yeah. And then if you close this one, so it's been fully automated so far. You also have an AI there. What does that one do?
Yes, it's my favorite function. So here I asked the AI to create the final performance summary document. You remember me talking about the roadmap that I want?
Yeah.
And this step using all inputs. So the employee reflection is here, the manager reflection, the combined insights is here, and the conversation notes. And then I told it how I wanted to structure it.
This is super advanced. This is nice.
And
So,
yes, and then
so what?
I create the
What's that?
document.
And then you have a summary with all these things,
Yeah.
and and email the final summary. Whoa. Okay. So if you go back there, if you go one more time back, and we can take a look at Emma. So if you just go, yeah, back button there, and click on Emma in the top, and just go to the bottom. Then I guess that's the
Yes.
report. See the create document one there. That's the summary report. So if you go down and you click the eyeballs there, yeah, what are we seeing? So this is this full summary after the interview and after the notes and everything, right?
And after the meeting.
So this is like an overview, the key themes, strengths to build on, focus areas, agreements and next steps. And who gets this?
Both the manager and the employee, because we
This
also want them. This is something that they should use together. So every step in the workflow feeds into this final document, and it's not a summary that HR should save in some folder. It's a shared roadmap for the employee and the manager. So
this is
this
super cool.
is the end goal that I talked about, the end that I started with. So my goal here is that this should capture what mattered in the process, what was
Yeah,
agreed, and what happens next. And it's sent to both parties to become a reference and not just a memory.
yeah,
So I think this is the difference between a process that ends and a process that actually moves work forward.
yeah.
And my thought was that this could be used to revisit in monthly follow-ups and use as guidance for development and priority setting, and keep it as a shared reference for expectations and next steps.
Yeah. And this could even be, I noticed that's where the workflow ends, but we could even take it longer further. We could even say, now wait for 1 year and
Mm.
start this process all over again and
Yeah.
have this report with it. Or if you're doing quarterly sessions or every 6 months or whatever the session is, like you can literally like, I mean, so if you go one step back, performance review workflow there, like what just the yeah, that one. So here you see all the people who've gone through this process. So but what you basically do is you add every single employee into this
Mm.
workflow
Yeah.
when the employee performance review should start, and then you can just add a step in the end that says, okay, now loop this every year and add the report. So you've basically just looped the entire thing to be fully automated moving forward. Or if you want to start it manually every time, you can do that by just
Yeah.
adding them every time. But I mean, this is super valuable. Another thing I wanted to show you, which I don't think we did here, but if you go to show hide fields, this is can be convenient. If you go to the show hide fields section there on the left, just one further down, yeah, this shows you like all the fields you're seeing in the spreadsheet view. So let's say you click the send form on the top, just to show you one simple example, and just click like show hide all a little bit down. This is now, if you click that one, and then if you now click on the tab on the left, just to see the spreadsheet view again, to just click, take your mouse a little bit to the left and click the button, just a little
What?
bit to the left here, yeah, just so you exit this screen out, yeah, like
Yeah.
that. And if you now scroll to the right, now you can see, like, now you have all the questions in that form and all the answers from all the people,
Yeah.
right? So it's like really nice to do it. And we have a question here actually from Freya. She's asking about the review meeting summary, like
Yeah.
where is it stored? And so now it's actually stored here. So if you click on the, like, you can store it where you want, but if you
Yeah.
go over the show hide fields, for example, again, which is
Mm.
exactly the point what Freya is asking about. So
Yeah.
the bottom down, let's say she's asking about the review meeting summary. That's I think the create document in the end.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you click that
Here
one.
is the notes that they put into the
Yeah, but I think she's asking about the summary doc. So if you click the
yeah.
document, yeah, so this one, you can actually put you see the action output, the file doc and PDF. If you click the one down the bottom over here right now, so on the bottom page it says file.doc, like
Yeah.
yeah, there.
Yeah.
If you click these, now you can actually see that in the table as well, like
Mm.
before. So if
Yeah.
you go to the far right in the table, because this is what Freya was asking about, like where's this
Oh, yeah,
stored? And this is now stored here. So you can actually, if you click the PDF, you'll actually see it. Like, so it's now stored in this 50 skill system. You could also integrate this with, and sometimes you need to download it directly, but you could
yeah,
also integrate this with your HR system or like SharePoint, whatever you want to store these things, and it would just
yeah,
automatically get added there.
yeah.
So that's an interesting one. But I
And
would
these
love
are
to
some of the
I'd love to ask
questions.
the audience as well. I mean, this is pretty incredible. But like for those of you listening, have you tried to build anything like this with workflow builders? Like specifically like your biggest blocker in doing these things. And I think it would be interesting to hear just from people what they think about it, and also just like from you, Matilda, like when you were building this from start to end, if you're just like fully honest, like how long did it take for you to build this thing out, to like think about it, decide how you want to build it, and build it from start to end? How much time do people need to take to do something like this?
It's always hard when you should include thinking time,
Yeah.
but I built the workflow in 4 days. If I also um, include a lot of the thinking time, but maybe not all of it, because I've been thinking maybe I can do this and maybe I can do this, and it's been a lot of exploration as well.
Yeah.
So, but in 4 days, I built the workflow, and then I had a meeting with Christine to talk about can we make it to book the meeting automatically.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's often the case as well. Like, don't, like, I think you should just think without any technology, don't have any technology in the mix. Just use a whiteboard, use an AI tool or something, and just say, in a perfect world, how should this process roughly work? And I
Yeah,
think that's roughly what you did. Like, you're kind of thinking the employee and the supervisor, they need to fill out information about how they felt about the year, and AI
yeah,
should summarize it. It should book the meeting for them. They should just like get a meeting. I mean, so if you think about it, if you're a supervisor, you
yeah,
just get a meeting invite. And if you're an employee, you just get a meeting invite. And on that meeting invite, it's going to have all the notes and everything perfectly ready for you.
yeah,
And that's why it's going to work, right? And then it's just a question of how do you then design the perfect workflow to do that? And I think you showed an excellent example. I mean, this workflow as well. I mean, you could help other people do this one, Matilda. I'm sure other companies might have nuances with it. Like there might be different questions, there might be different things, but like
yeah,
this template could literally be like duplicated into their account, made some edits, and they could run their whole thing on this, and it wouldn't take too long. So that's
yeah,
also like one way to do it. And what I love is when you meet with different orgs that have done it in a different way. So like
yeah,
when you're looking at people who've done performance reviews or onboarding or offboarding, whatever, there's like 90% is the same, but like there's that 10%. It's sort of like like it's part of their thing to always do this or that or whatever it is, which is really interesting.
yeah. And I think it's also interesting because now we've gone through all the steps, and it's 15 steps, and it can feel like a lot. But out of this 15 steps, we only needed actions from the employee and the manager in 4 steps. Everything
Yeah,
else happened without their involvement, and still the process moved forward. So they did not need to do anything on the side outside the workflow except have the meeting.
I love this one. And we're getting a question that relates to this to some extent. There's someone is asking here, does your system have functionality to set KPIs, objectives to review throughout the year, updated on where they are so far to give some quantitative data? Yes, absolutely. So you could, in this question, somebody's asking like, hey, could we just like, our goal is to get this more many customers for revenue or be better at services or whatever the KPIs are.
Yeah,
And you put that in, and you could then connect it to a system that has information about where you actually are at any given point. So let's say
yeah,
every month or every 3 months, it sends out a similar, just like the employee surveys, it would send out like a message to people, like to share their thoughts on why they've achieved it or not achieved it or whatever the question should be, and it just fully automate the whole thing as well. So
yeah,
that's literally one thing that you could build in it.
yeah,
And another question here is, how can you also build a performance score, which is then used for salary reviews in a large cap with thousands of employees? Well, that's interesting, Matilda. That's more of a design question, I guess. How would you do that? Do you think you can use this to build a score, or does that fit with the performance review part, or is that a separate thing? Like for the manager to say, like, I'm going to give this person a score on a scale of some sort, which is going to affect their like salary review.
I think this is performance review, and salary review is another process. And as I think, but I think the information you get from the performance review is something that will help you if you should do the salary review, because now you have identified areas to develop and things to build on, and you have also developed like concrete next steps on what to do, and then you can follow up and see how well does this employee follow what we agreed on.
Yeah, is it getting better over time? I mean, with
Mm.
salary reviews as well, you could kind of go, is this person, finishing their tasks at like you have some sort of
Yeah,
a scale, like better than expected, worse than expected, those sorts of things, and then you can have like this kind of data to help you make that decision. So that's
yeah,
actually something you can fully automate it as part of some sort of a table that you have there.
yeah,
But it's also like it's very bespoke. So I think, like you mentioned, like in a large cap company with thousands of employees, there's often salary tables that do those things. Those are not as much present in a company with maybe 100 people or 20 people or whatever the size is. But I think as
mm,
you get more mature and larger with, that kind of structure falls into place usually when you're somewhere in the hundreds, and then it, gets more deeply rooted.
yeah.
Um,
And I
and I
think
mean,
that also ties into a little bit like what we talked about, like AI won't fix a broken process, because what you see in here is one example of what happens when you design the process before you automate it. And this didn't work because of AI, and it didn't work because this process is perfect. It works because the purpose was clear and the behaviors were thought through, and every step was designed to move the process forward and not sideways.
yeah.
And I think this is just one example of what you could automate with 50 skills, because as long as you know what the end goal is and you have a clear purpose, and then you can identify what steps do I need to get to the end goal. And I think the possibilities is endless.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, like, if people are thinking about getting started with something like this, I think it's always good to start with a use case in mind. So
Mm,
if you're not sure where to start or what to get started with, I think it's just as you as an org to think about, like, where is my pain point? What am I doing like, what is a recurring process that I have? It's a pain that's
yeah,
costing myself minutes and every single employee minutes. And like, if you add it up, it can be hours every time, and it's happening on a repeatable basis. And you can
yeah,
think about it everywhere in, like, the it could be any type of employee request, it could be any type of like hiring part of the TA function, it could be any part of like the day-to-day stuff that you're doing. Like, what are those things? And I also often think, like, a lot of people that I speak with in HR, they're so busy, like they're just busy, and it's often like fighting fires. So like something comes up, and then there's a complete pain of taking care of it, like some sort of disciplinary action, or somebody's leaving or joining or whatever it is.
yeah,
And I think the only way to honestly make that time up is to like figure out how you're doing it, how you want to do it, and then get the tools to set up the automation for it. Like, that is the only way to do it. And that takes a little bit of time. You mentioned it took you a
mm,
couple of days to get this started from start to end, but I would still say this is a pretty advanced process, right? Like, there's a ton of things that don't have to be as advanced as this one that can
no,
still save you a ton of time.
yeah,
And there are also components in this one where you can reuse in so many places, like the scheduling part, like that
yeah,
can fit in endless places. Um, and so I think that's, like, something to talk about. I also wanted to
mm,
mention, like, we are doing a workshop together
yes,
2 weeks from now. So if people are interested in something like the stuff you just showed and shared, like, we could literally help you get started with it. It's going to be, I think it's exactly 2 weeks from now in Stockholm, right? Yeah, there you have
yes,
it.
yeah,
So there's limited spots, so please let us know. I think I have the link somewhere here that I could share in, and if not, we'll send an email afterwards where you can sign up for it.
yeah,
But I mean, we could turn this into a template that people could duplicate. We could, and we have multiple more. So, like, but what would be most exciting is bring us the use cases. Like, let us know if you have a use case in mind, and we
yeah,
can help prep before the session so you can really get value out of these 90 minutes. And you're based in the epicenter. It's in person.
yes,
Awesome. So you and I will both be there, as well as some other experts from both of our teams.
yeah.
Is there any other questions from the audience here that are listening in? Anything else? What if it doesn't happen here? I'm sure you can reach out to Matilda and myself on LinkedIn or via email, whatever it is. There's one question here. Tove is asking, and also matching absence with salary. So maybe Tove, you can explain a little bit deeper. Is Tove talking about like when people are sick leaves and stuff connected to it, or what's the? Oh, you were oh, sorry, Tove was answering. Sorry about no, but I think we've covered roughly the most parts.
Yes.
I also maybe just wanted to share with the audience, like if you're getting started, you don't have to start from scratch. Like yes, do an analysis of what you're doing and processes that are like high value, low effort. Try and solve them first. But
Yeah.
there's many ways to get started. Like you can ask. There's AIs built in the system where you can ask and how you build stuff there, and it can actually build things for you. There are templates for a ton of things, like the scheduling thing you're seeing here. You can take a look at some of those on our website, but there's also like we have a ton in the back end. And
Mm.
so you don't always just have to like do this step by step. And if you get stuck, like you mentioned, Matilda, like the scheduling part was pretty technical, right?
Yeah.
But if you know what you want, like you start by describing the experience of the people going through the process, and then you work your way backwards to the tech that make that happen. That is the key. And so that's exactly what you did. You got stuck in one step, you were able to help with that, and I think that's why you were able to build a really cool workflow.
Yes, it was really fun, and I don't I'm not a developer, and I'm not like I'm an HR person, and I could build this on my own with some help from Christine on the code block, but it was really easy and it was really fun. So
Awesome to hear. And I also think like there was a like in connection to this, it's like it's often bespoke things. Like there's often like we had this hilarious example as a final note that somebody shared yesterday. There's a customer that from the airline, Iceland Air, and he
yeah.
was sharing a really funny example yesterday that if you're working, for example, on an airline, then people go on planes, they get a 4-digit crew code, like everybody. So if you and I were working on a 4-digit crew code, it would basically take our names. Like I would probably be like KRKR, and you'd
Yeah.
probably be like MAKY. Like, and
Mm.
those words don't have any negative meaning, so it's fine. You can automate it. But the problem is like if you have a 4-letter word that's like hell or STFU, or
Yeah.
like it has some embarrassing meaning, people are really upset about it. You don't want a flight attendant going like, why is the flight attendant called hell, like onboarding passengers? Like you don't want that. And so they actually like put an AI that checks those things out, like to make sure that it automates the whole thing, but it checks out that the naming isn't bad. So it's like putting AI in a tiny place, but it's and I had no idea they were doing this. They just shared it on social yesterday. But it was yeah, it's a really fun example. So I love those bespoke things in an industry you never thought about a use case, but you can really get something interesting out of it.
Yeah, and that you can adapt it to what you really need. That it's not like this is what the system can do and you need to adapt to it. Now the system adapts to what you need.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's it for now. We have a final poll for people that we'd love to hear about, which is just how you'd rate the session today, which is visible right now. But I don't think there's anything else. Please reach out to Matilda and I. We'd love to see you at the workshop or try things out. And yeah, just thank you so much, Matilda, for trying this out and sharing with the rest of us.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Take care.
Take care.